Where's my $40 trillion? We're going to talk about that today and so much more on the 5-Minute Commute. We start with the question of the day. Today's question, I know you're going to want to answer. Where would you like to see the Bears build their new stadium? Now, it doesn't have to be one of the three choices everyone talks about, Arlington Heights, where Chicago currently has it, or Indiana, but that's probably what you're going to answer. Where would you like to see the Chicago Bears build their new stadium, and why? Put your answer in the comments below. First big story of the day, as of when I was planning on this show yesterday, there were 68,000 plus customers in Northwest Indiana without power, and they'd been going on at that point in time 9 days. This morning marks 10 days, and some of them will be out of power expected until Tuesday. Food's going bad, medical supplies are going bad, school is out. And it's one of the reasons I asked the question about where we build the new stadium, because it's right about where we build the new stadium if it was in Indiana. But it's becoming quite the emergency, and I shouldn't say becoming quite the emergency. It is quite the emergency in Northwest Indiana. One of the stories we did last week is how many of the aircraft carriers and ships and soldiers and everybody that's been deployed in the Middle East has been deployed there for quite some time without any break, and where they're running incredibly low on supplies. Well, good news today. The USS George Washington has arrived in the Middle East to relieve the USS Abraham Lincoln, and Abraham Lincoln is the one that set the new record for longest time at sea in a combat zone without any ports, without any time off. And so they will finally get some time off. And now somebody else's turn. Remember when this was going to be 2 weeks? Remember that? Now, you don't need me to tell you this. You are aware that the national debt is out of control, but now it is officially ridiculous. And it was already ridiculous, I guess. $40 trillion is what we've hit. And to give you an idea, we have doubled it since January of 2017. That means that Trump and Biden together doubled what it was before. Well, inauguration day for Trump in 2017, then Biden, then Trump. We have doubled it since then. We're past GDP. That happened, 6 months ago, which was something that they always said if we ever went past that, there'd be no return and perhaps we'd crash our economy. So far, we haven't, but a crazy amount. And what I like to say when we say $1 trillion is a trillion is a million. That just makes the math sound crazier to me. It really puts it in perspective for me. So in this case, it's $40 million. How many $1 million things could we build with this? 40 million of them, which would be enough to put every American in a $1 million home. Just about. Oh, and before somebody comes out and says there's way more Americans in that. No, that would be American families. That's what I was talking about. Every family would have a $1 million home. All right, something more lighthearted. Today is National Fantasy Football Draft Day. Now, my draft isn't going to happen until September because we like to draft as close to the actual game time as possible. And this year, I think September 9th is the first game. We're drafting September 6th, I think. But today is officially National Fantasy Football Draft Day. Good luck with your fantasy football teams this year. On this day in history, 1959, Hawaii became a state. I remember when I learned this particular bit of information way back in the day, and I went, wait a minute, when we were attacked in World War II, we weren't a state yet? Yeah, no, when Pearl Harbor was attacked, it was just a base in the middle of the Pacific in one of our territories, and everyone kind of went, where? When it happened, not that it mattered. They attacked America. I get that, but nobody really knew where it is. Now we know exactly where it is, right? Yeah, and it's been a state since 1959. Well, happy Friday. It's time for me to head to work. You guys have a fantastic day. Don't forget, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow, whatever platform you're on. If you could help me out, I'd appreciate it. We're growing slowly, but we're growing, and that's enough to get me down here and do this show every morning. Have a great day, and don't forget, be kind to someone today.